All right. Hi, guys. Oh, I better, oops. Wow. There I am. I better spotlight myself if I'm recording. Welcome. It's our Tuesday night Diamonds to SC call, and I really wanted to cover something tonight that is so special and important to me, and it's something that I probably don't touch on too often because I try not to push my beliefs onto other people, but I do really feel that it's something that helped me 100 times start this business up strong, and that is my spiritual beliefs around how I can grow through challenges. Now, a lot of people actually hear spirituality and they think it's some funky hippie who doesn't shave their armpits. And now I'm okay with that. I'm down if that's the way that you want to live your life. But it does go so much further than that. Basically speaking, spirituality is finding out why you're here. It's finding out your purpose. It's about stripping away all the layers that you've created in life since you were born. That's it. It's not a religious thing. You don't have to pray. You don't have to do anything. It's basically enjoying your journey and actually becoming aware of the steps you're taking rather than getting up every day and just living life like it's fucking Groundhog Day. Oh, there's another disclosure. I'm going to probably swear on this call because it is what I do. So if that offends you, probably jump off. Okay, so I need to put up like a tagline: spirituality warning and language warning. But that's me. That's what you guys get. So basically what I'm going to talk about is why that tends to scare people off. Now, I believe that in life we are here for a journey. And regardless of whether you think that life ends after this journey or whether we come back and do it again, it really doesn't matter. But we do know that we need to grow on this journey. Clearly, humans grow. It's what happens. It's part of the process. The funny thing is, though, is that we're scared of it. If you look at it, a baby is not scared to grow into an adult. They just do it. It's a miracle. It's exactly what needs to happen with our mindset, and yet we overthink it, we doubt it, we run from it, we get scared. But you really do have to embrace it in this journey because it is going to happen. I actually think that Juice Plus is the vehicle that pushes your revolution into spirituality faster. And that's why it scares the shit out of some people, because they've got to think, well, who am I? Why does this scare me? Why does getting rejected make me not want to show up the next day? It really does start to make you question who you are, whether you can do this, if you're strong enough, if you're determined enough. All those questions come up. And for somebody who is scared to delve internally, they're out. They're done. This is too hard. Okay, and that is why so many people fail at network marketing, because it's not the high-paying activities. We all know the how-to, don't we? You can go into any upline, any training album, any Facebook app that we've got, and you will see the how-to, step by step. Oh, sorry, guys, someone's popped off mute. Definitely not. Go in. Awesome. Sorry. Cool. Yeah, so basically we know the how-to. What stops us is the journey along the way. Now, I wanted to try and teach you guys that it's absolutely integral to fall in love with that journey, not only because you're going to earn more, but because you're going to be more. And it's the second one that's more important than the money. Because if I just earned the money that I earned, but I was still the person at the beginning of the journey, I would be nowhere near as happy. It's not the money that lands in my bank account that makes me happy each month. It's the growth, it's the overcome, it's the mindset that has turned me into an NMD that has created success for me. So I want to show you guys that that's the end goal, okay? Not getting team, not getting customers, growing, becoming a better version, because it speeds your version up as a human, okay? So what I want to do now is we're going to get a little bit interactive. So I'm going to ask you a question, and in the chat box, I want you to reply to me in 1 or 2 sentences. I'm going to say, who are you? It's not a trick question. I just want you to reply. If someone said, hey, who are you? What would you say in 1 or 2 sentences? Wow, that's hot. Come on, get interactive, because I can't move on until I see some. Cool. So I've got some, for those who are watching the recording, that say I'm a mum, I'm a strong, independent woman. Any more? What about your name? I'm Josie, a strong, independent 23-year-old trying to find her place in the big blue ball. I love that.
Mine's not working.
Yours isn't working? Oh no, well tell me out loud. Who are you?
Me.
Yeah, who are you? Who's me?
Me.
Who's me?
Me.
Yeah, but who's you? I could be me, but I'm not.
No, but I'm me.
Yeah, but who's me?
I don't know. Just me. Why can't I write?
Why can't you write? Open up your chat box. What have you done?
I don't know.
Oh well, have a little bit of a fiddle. Have a fiddle. You'll find it. Okay, so I'm seeing some really cool answers in here. I'm seeing I'm blah, blah, blah name. I want more than life. I'm from this place. I'm so many things. I'm grateful. I'm kind-hearted. I'm independent. And I absolutely love this. I love that you guys are actually thinking about it. When was the last time that somebody asked you who you are? Don't you think it's a pretty integral thing to know? Don't you think every day when you turn up to do things, you should know who you are? Yeah, but it's something we're not taught. It's something we don't think about. It's very rarely even things that we allow to happen. We just do it. We don't know. But what I want you guys to do right now is to close your eyes. Okay, I want you to close your eyes for me. Now, some of you may have already done this exercise with me. So don't go, just do it. We're going to close our eyes. And I want you to count to roughly, we're going to do about 30 seconds. So it's going to be a little awkward. If you're playing at home, this is going to be awkward. Don't look at my face. Close your eyes. Okay, you ready? Let's go. All right, awesome. Did everybody have a nice little time with yourselves? Yeah? Cool. Now what we're going to do is we're going to have a look. Now whose mind, when you were closing your eyes, was chattering their little box off? Who was saying, oh my God, what is this woman making us do? What is she doing? I should be out there cooking dinner. I wonder if my kids are killing each other, blah, 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 blah. Whose voice was going crazy and saying some pretty crazy stuff? Whose wouldn't shut up? Whose was just talking away there? And you're like, okay, this is really peaceful. And then it's getting a little bit awkward. And now what are we going to do? What is this game? What are we doing? Who was like constantly at it, not in peace? No, it wasn't. Great, Crystal. That's great. It's so normal for us to have a brain that is constantly thinking. Even if we try and be peaceful, you could be peaceful for the first little bit where it's nice. And then you could be thinking, oh, I wonder if my dinner's burning. Oh, it's all right. I wonder if I need to message this person tomorrow. And it's going on, and it never really stops. Okay? The funny thing is that when most of us think about who we are, we assume that we're that voice because it's the voice that we hear all the time. Who actually thinks that that voice inside their head is, let's just say Katrina. Like, that's Katrina. Is that Katrina? Is it Stacey? Is it Pauline? Who is that voice? We identify with it, don't we? When we think of who we are, we think we're the person talking in our head. But what I'm going to blow your mind with is, if you're the person talking, then who the fuck is listening? In your head, who is listening to that voice? Yeah, I can see your mind's being a little blown. Now, this is the art of spirituality, because what you're doing is you're breaking apart your thoughts from the person who's listening. Because the thing is, the person who's listening is who we are. I'm not Katrina. Okay, I'm just here showing up as Katrina because this is who the universe gave me in this lifetime. I am that quiet observer sitting there and observing Katrina live life. That's your soul. That's the person that can't be touched, can't be fucked with, can't be hurt, can't be anything. Katrina can be killed. Katrina can be hurt. She can be crying. She can be upset. The golden goddess who is just sitting inside me is just watching the whole thing. They're just here for a show. Now, the funny thing is that we take every damn thing so personal in this show that we turn our life into chaos. Does everyone understand that? Yeah, so we identify ourselves with that voice, with that person talking, with that person criticizing, with that person judging. All they are belief systems that have been stacked up for life. Now, for an exercise to show you to break that apart, yeah, exactly, our spirit, whatever, our soul, our higher self, whatever it is that's in line with the divine. Because do you know what? That doesn't judge. It doesn't do anything. It literally just sits there and enjoys the journey. It doesn't try to control you. It doesn't do anything but observe the situation. Because if you think about it, it's always just there. Always listening to your thoughts, always loving. It's always just constant, but it is not the chatter. It's listening to the chatter. Okay, now what you need to do is get really good at separating those two, because you can actually hear this one if you allow it time and space. Okay, but when we chatter, assume that this is us, chatter, we give no time to be the real version that we should be, because we move into becoming our belief systems rather than our soul. Now, when I talk about belief systems, when you guys were young girls, and I say girls because you're all women on here, sorry if you're a man watching this back, but when you guys were young women, you got pummeled, probably out of love, from your parents, from your circle, from your family, from your friends, all types of belief systems. Don't touch that, it's hot. Be careful up there, you could fall. Don't wear those shoes, you'll trip over. Don't wear that shirt, it's too tight. Okay, don't wear your hair like that, it's not good for your ears. I don't know who the fuck says whatever, but they say it. And over time, we stack those things up and our brain starts to behave and starts to listen like that. When we're little tiny humans, all we want to do is give love, share, be kind, because that's what the observer is. This little voice over here is the stacking of everything else. And what I like to do to keep those two totally separate is when I hear this little voice, because you can hear it, because it can be a real bitch. Sometimes it can say horrible things like, my God, you look like shit today. Don't message that person because they're going to think you're an idiot. Oh, here we go. This person's going to think I'm in a scam. All this stuff that comes on, that negative self-talk, that is not your golden goddess. That is this little creature that you've created over time because you've been hurt, because you've been rejected, because you felt scared. Belief system stacking up. Okay, so what I do is I actually put that one into a character. So if you guys were on Linda's call, I'm not sure how many of you were the other day, but I actually talked about that little tiny character in my voice, in my head. He's a little leprechaun and he wears a paper bag. And I make him look like that because I want him to be ridiculous. When he says stuff like that goal is stupid, you can't achieve that. You're not worth that amount of money. That kind of stuff, I know that he's a fool. He's not worth it. He is limiting beliefs that have been stacked up over time and just filed away in my brain. Now, we have done a few bits of training to understand that your brain is a safety mechanism. We think that our brain is the be-all and the end-all. Our brain is a safety mechanism. It's just there to keep us alive. And it is a receptor to something great. Okay, it is not the game changer. The game changer is our heart and our soul, because they were the two things that were there before the brain. Do you guys actually know that the first part in your body to actually form, the first organ to form is your heart? It's not your brain. So your heart creates your brain. Yeah, but how many times do we say, well, you listen to your mind, you don't listen to your heart. You listen to the chatter, you listen to the stacked limiting beliefs over what truly should be heard. Okay, and this business breaks that down for you. It makes it difficult because you have to choose, am I going to run with my heart and my soul? Or are you going to run with your limiting beliefs, all the fear, all the bullshit that gets thrown out in your head? And how many times have you guys thought, even the ones here on the call, this is hard, I'm giving up today, I'm out. This is hard. I feel like shit. I feel like I'm getting rejected. I'm not getting anywhere. Who's felt like that? Where is that? Do you think that's the golden goddess talk, or do you think this is the little leprechaun in the paper bag who's stacked shit up his whole life? It's him. And if you let him ruin your day, if you let him ruin your business or your goals or your hopes or your dreams, you're crazy. Absolutely crazy. Okay? Because that's not what we're here for. We're not here to let our brain run the day. We're here to expand our heart and impact other people. Okay? So if I can get you guys to understand this, to understand the power of listening to your heart and running your business through your heart and your soul, rather than your mind and your limiting beliefs, you can go and empower other people to do that too. Because let's just see, I call it my golden goddess because it just makes sense. You know, if I was to look in my head, in my mind's eye right now, I see my little leprechaun and I just see this beautiful angel. She's just sitting there. She's cool. Nothing can fuck with her. She's just loving life. She's happy to be here, happy to experience everything. Nothing's positive, nothing's negative. Everything's just there. She's just watching. Yeah? So that's my golden goddess. And when a situation comes up where I feel threatened, or I feel like, oh, this is a little awkward, or I feel a little bit yucky right now, how am I going to react? Am I going to react out of this golden goddess who's just loving, observing, and not letting shit get to her? Or am I going to react like a leprechaun? Yeah, that's my two theories. And I find that once you split and separate those two identities and realize that they're not even you, okay? They don't belong to you. They're just here in the journey to help you navigate your way around. It really does make it easier to decide how you're going to show up. Can I get a little bit of head nods? Are we getting this? Are we moving through this? Is it making sense? I'm not the crazy lady who's just like ranting on about something I'm super passionate about. No, we're moving forward. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, so when we talk about splitting, we're talking about the art of detachment. Love glasses, that's it, Stace. I'm talking about love glasses. The golden goddess always has her love glasses on. All right, they never fall off. She made the fuckers, yeah? Can't swear because Georgie's on your lap. It's making me awkward. Just keep going. She's used to it. But yeah, the golden goddess always has the love glasses on. So I have a running joke with Stace because Stace can get a little bit chattery that she needs to put on her love glasses. Okay. Now all of us can at times. Yay! Teresa's on. Her leprechaun's Vivian. I love it. We do have Vivian. Yeah. Okay. So she's already named it. Name your bitchy little character in your head who does and says the wrong things. Okay, who double questions everything, who's critical, who's judgy, who's not fun. They're not a fun person, okay? Because you know what? Your mind is supposed to be still and peaceful a lot of the time. And I don't want to harp too much on this because it's totally up to you, but meditation is the bomb for this. It's going to be painful, at least for the first couple of months that you try and do it. But meditation is literally moving away towards the chatter, more towards the divine, okay, more towards the still, more towards the quiet. And when you start to talk to really spiritual people, they actually start to get some crazy messages. Who's ever been to a psychic, a medium, or someone like that? Yeah, sometimes they're crap. Sometimes you're like, yeah, I don't know about you. But sometimes you can get amazing ones. And they can only know the things that they know because they're tuned into something higher. Now, what I want to tell you guys is, you all can do that, 100%. I use this analogy. So here's my finger. Everybody, look, I got my nails done today. Perfect timing. This is my spirit, my soul, my identity, my true identity. Not just Katrina, who was born in Toowoomba and who's 30. Okay, this is my soul. It's probably been around life forms. This little part down here where my fingertip is, just this part, is living in my human body. This whole part here goes right up to the high realm, wherever you want to do, whether you want to call it heaven, whether you want to call it different dimensions, whatever, different vibrations. When I talk about rising the vibration or changing your vibration, it actually means that you can start to shift your awareness, not your human body, because we can't levitate, but you can shift your awareness up. When you meditate and you move your vibration, because remember we are energy, you're actually shifting it from here, Who's ever done any aura work? An aura is your energy, okay? That's what we see. You're shifting your awareness from here to here to here. You're shifting it out wider and wider as you go. And if you can shift it up high enough, you can actually start to receive some really beautiful messages. Not from anybody crazy, but from the person up there who's running the show for you right now. Because we're not. I hate to tell you that. You got no fucking control whatsoever. You're just here to enjoy the journey. Okay? So you guys can think from this call, I don't believe in destiny. I don't believe that you can change your destiny. One iota whatsoever. We are here literally to enjoy the show. It's all been pre-planned out for us. How the hell do you think so many synchronicities happen? You know, like, Stace, how do you think that you and I 12, 13 years ago met in a dance studio? Briefly, for a fleeting moment of time. We didn't even really know each other. You just gave me money. That was it. In and out, in and out. Okay? She was awesome. We had a really cool friendship. But how weird was it that Facebook connected us back together and said, here you go. Now we run a business. Do you seriously think everything like that can happen by chance? Because I tell you what, something would have to be pretty bloody crazy to line up all those things for every single one, for all the interwebs that happen in and out of life. So when you guys turn up and you get upset and you try and control things, you try and control your team, everything is going to happen the way it's going to happen. Okay, you just need to let it go, take a chill pill, go and relax. But the cool thing about it is that if you meditate and lift your vibration up, you can actually have a sense of feeling of what's going to happen, of knowing what's going to happen, of knowing that you're on the right track. You know, like, who's ever had a moment where you've just instantly thought, I'm meant to be here. I'm meant to do this. Anyone ever just felt like this really feels good right now? Yeah. And you don't know it, but that's probably because your consciousness has shifted up just a little bit to say, well done. This is where you're meant to be. Okay. And the funny thing is that as humans and as our society these days, we just think that shit's normal. We just go about life like, yeah, all this magic stuff's happening around us and it's totally cool. What else? Are my shoes matching my outfit today? That's what we think about. Not about the fact that our body is working internally. You think about it. You think about the cells, the blood, the rejuvenation, the kidneys, the liver, the intestines, the brains, the neurons, everything that's happening inside your body right now. And yet we're thinking about, is dinner ready? Or what's this person thinking about me? Are they going to think I'm crazy? Yeah. So when you separate that and you actually take it apart, you use that art of detachment, and you realize how amazing we are to even be here, let alone in an opportunity where we can go and impact thousands of people, it really does make it easier. Yeah, can you guys see how that happens? If we spend so much time in here listening, going crazy, we got no time to enjoy the magic. No time to even think about the magic. And now I don't want to get into it too much because this is going to be a whole nother call. Probably next Tuesday, we could do like part 2 of the crazy spiritual lady. But if you are constantly in chatter, you have no time to manifest what you want. All right. And that's a totally different part of this. Because if we reach our vibration up high enough, we have access to the laws of attraction. Okay. We have access to be able to demand with a higher frequency what we are ready for in our life. Now, you guys, I feel like the crazy spiritual. Good, I'm glad, because for so long, I actually felt like the crazy spiritual lady needed to go to bed. Like someone needed to go put her out because she's nuts and she's never going to be able to make friends. You know, has anybody ever felt like the group of people that you're around, they're a little basic? And I say that in the nicest way possible. Yeah? They don't talk about things like you want to talk about. They might be a little bit judgmental. They might be a little bit critical, a little bit quick to judge on somebody, a little bit quick to put someone down rather than raising them up. Yeah? I did too. And I thought, well, what the hell's going to happen if they know that I'm a crazy spiritual lady and I believe that everything happens for a reason? I don't want to judge that person because they're just living their journey. You know, let them go. They've got nothing to do with you. When I start saying this stuff, they look at me like, Yeah, so I hid it for so long. But what I want to encourage you guys is that this is who we are. We are loving creatures. When we come in, when we talk about who we are, We are loving, we are caring, we are giving. I laugh because when we were in Perth, the conference, Rob and I were sitting on the hill there at the beach, and there was this tiny little baby. She'd probably only just started to learn how to walk, and she would have been early, about 9-10 months. And she had a dummy in her mouth, and she walked up to a total stranger in front of us, like we're all just sitting on the hill enjoying sunset. And she walked from her mum and dad up to a total stranger and was like looking at him, and then went to take the dummy out of her mouth to give to him, as if to say, this is really good, you should have it. And I thought to myself, the mum came rushing over, and she goes, no, and quickly put her hand back in her mouth. And I thought, all this little girl wants to do is share something that she loves with someone she doesn't know. And this mum, not even meaning to do anything, has put in a limiting belief saying, don't share. It's not good. We don't have time for that. This man, you don't know this man, don't share with him. And you guys can see that as that stacks up on time, we really do become someone that we're totally not. And I think that the hardest part of this journey is that you only do well if you can embrace who you are. And most people have no friggin' clue who that is anymore, because we've spent so many years listening to what everybody else thinks we are, what everybody else thinks we should be, that when we start to reflect back and have to become someone, we're like, well, who the fuck's that? Who is that? How do I become that? But I can promise you that if you guys start to become aware of it, and it starts to get messy, and you start to get a little crazy, and you fall down the rabbit hole, that is the best place you can be. Because it gets destroying, it gets crazy, it gets nuts. But once you come out of that, you build someone unreal, unfuckable. Because you are so certain about who you are that nobody can mess with you. And I know that somebody could go off at me, somebody could say anything to me, but I literally would just be like, that's cool. You might hurt Katrina's feelings for a little while, but I know that the God and Goddess is in here. She's gonna bring shit out tomorrow. She'll be fine. She'll get over it, because I can separate myself from that identity. Yeah, so many times if someone says something nasty, we feel like they're just melting us with their words. And that's crazy, because how dare they do that? How can you give them the power to do that? It's quite silly. It's quite silly that we can let this crazy limiting stacking, because that's all it is. If somebody says something that hurts our feelings, one of our feelings is our standards to be treated, which is limited. Oh, how dare you let someone talk to you like that? How many times have people said that? Don't talk to me like that. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, there's no right, there's no wrong, there's observing and there's doing. Okay, so you're either doing and reacting, or you're just observing and letting it go over you. And I can tell you guys that 110% of the time, if you just observe and let it go over you, life gets so good. Okay, life gets amazing. Because you stop reacting to every little thing that comes up. You stop reacting to somebody who can't use an indicator in front of you. You stop reacting to a partner who's doing annoying things sometimes. Sometimes it's really hard to get over those things. Just ask Rob. I'm trying a lot of the time to get over those, but sometimes people will still irk you because you're still human. But you can try and you can let it go. So many other times people destroy their life because they react instead of observing. Okay, life gets really good when you realize that not everybody deserves your reaction. Okay, someone tells you it's a scam. That's wonderful. Have a beautiful day. That's it. They don't need your reaction. What good is it going to do? Yeah, golden goddess, guys, golden goddess. If somebody tells you, I hate your product, I'm cancelling out, it's shit. I'm really sorry you feel that way. I absolutely love it. They don't need a defense. You don't need to convince them. Because what's funny, guys, is that people will say, objection handle. Objection handle all you want, okay? Because that's amazing. We do need to build those skills, and we need to help people see, because most of the time people aren't as open-minded as you. Otherwise, everybody would be doing network marketing. They'd understand the beauty of it. You guys are open-minded, so you're going to have to try and help open other minds. You don't do that by being defensive. Okay, I remember I had one lady, so I sponsor ads, right, on the Soul Project. And I had one lady comment on there, it's another MLM bullshit. And I was like, oh, that's wonderful. Instead of deleting it, I actually said on that, I'm so sorry you feel that way. I'm going to message you. And I messaged her and I said, sounds like you've had such an awful time in the MLM industry. What's really hurt you? And she come back and she said, oh, look, I spent so much money in it. I almost put my family in a black hole, and then I never got any support from my upline, blah, blah, blah. And I just come back genuinely from an observing point of view and just related. I'm so sorry that you went through that. That must have been horrible. I can only imagine only having that much money in the bank and giving it to somebody who didn't look after you. You know, please don't think that every MLM's like that. I actually love what I do, and we have a team of uplines, you know, who are there to help people. And I wasn't convincing, but I was just opening her mind to the possibilities. And that's the difference of it. I could have reacted and said, don't post that shit on my page. You know, who are you to go posting that on my page? Something along those lines. How do you think she would have handled it? She would have irked straight back. Do you know what? I'm now in talks with that lady to join my team. That was about 6 months ago. She friend requested me and she's watched me ever since. So when we talk about this being a long-term vision, that's 100% what it is, guys, because you're going to grow from now until you die. So it's very important that this business will grow from now until you die. It's a long time. Yeah? Don't just think, okay, I've got, 4 months to hit SC, let's go. Yes, that's important because it's going to keep you focused and it's going to keep the human version of you running, but it's not necessarily great if you're going to jump out of reaction all the time. Does that make sense? How you can break them apart? Yeah? Sometimes you do need to be human. That's okay. Sometimes you need to break down. You need to have a cry. You need to get over it. But you're only allowed, that's okay, Stace, it'll be recorded. You only have 24 hours in the day. If you let those whole 24 hours go because you want to have a tantrum, you've wasted a day that you can never get back. And I think that's really important. Linda has this saying, and I love it. She says you're allowed 5 minutes to feel human and then you've got to get gangster. And I love it because I think it's so true. 5 minutes to feel human and then you go and you get your shit on, okay? And you run with it and you turn up as a better version of yourself rather than letting your whole day turn to shit because you're going to play in the human field. Yeah? So does anybody have any questions around that? Is there anything that doesn't quite make sense just yet? Good girl, Teresa. That's exactly right. And I get it, okay? Because sometimes you really want to help people. And if they cancel out, you think, well, what a waste of time. But you have to respect that that's their journey, okay? You have no control over what's meant to happen in their life. If they want to cancel out, let them go peacefully and love on them. Because I've had so many people cancel out of the program only to come back in another 12 months. So it's really important that you don't burn any bridges, you don't get upset, and you don't go saying, oh, you didn't follow it right or whatever it is, and you don't go beating yourself up. I mean, if there's areas you can learn there, 100%. Okay? Like if you're having customers cancel, think to yourself, okay, well, what can I do to make sure that I'm providing a better service, that I'm making them feel engaged, that I'm making them feel appreciated? Use it as awareness rather than a guilt trip, because this guy loves a guilt trip. They'll love to beat you up, because that's what it is. It's limiting beliefs, and limiting beliefs, if you let them go on a roll, they'll go crazy. Yeah? So I just want to kind of let you guys know too that this whole process, it sounds so good in theory, but this whole process can take a very long time to master. The small key of separating them is like the world starting. Yeah, it's like, boom, all of a sudden my mind's thinking differently. And I understand now that I have a new responsibility to how I show up in life, whether I'm going to react or whether I'm just going to observe. That's my responsibility. Yeah. I had this debate with a girl that I did. Does anyone know Simon? Simon Mitchell? I've done a few of his retreats and I've been there to talk about the spiritual side of growth. And a lady said to me, I have a right to get upset sometimes. And I was like, 100% agree with you, but you can't judge people because of it, because her big issue was judging, right? So she felt that she could judge people and put a label on them because of the way that they treated her. And this is a little bit of a tangent, but it is not your place to put somebody else in a box. And it's really important to remember that in this business, because you never know who might need you. Don't put them in the too poor box. Don't put them in the too good box, too rich box. They don't need this box. Okay, never do that. Definitely don't think you're a bad person box. You're too good for me box. Okay, it's not our place to judge, guys. That's their journey, whatever they're doing on their journey, up to them, but you never know when yours and theirs might collide. Yeah, so our main goal, remember, we come back to it, love, share, kindness. That's it. And if you come from that place of love, share, kindness, how fucking hard do you think you could run this business? Because what have you got to do? Love it, share it, and be kind to people. If you have a look at some of the most, I'm going to say, successful people in this business, they're very nice people. Very nice. And that's what attracted me at the start, because all my limiting money beliefs came around the fact that rich people were horrible. People that had money were greedy, were obsessive, excessive. They had too much. And then I met this group of people that were amazing, that were changing the world, that were giving back, that were helping people live better lives, but wealthy. And I thought, well, how does this happen? Because this doesn't run with my limiting beliefs. I've been told my whole life, rich people are greedy. Rich people are powerful. Rich people are too good. And then this happened. Okay, so that judgment kind of fucked with me a little bit, but it also made me think, open my mind up. I could be one of those people. And you will notice that the nice people, the ones that work from their heart, that run the business the hardest from their heart and not their chatter, are the ones to win at this. Okay, because they get more resilient. They build that muscle up over time to be more in the moment and to not react, to just observe the journey. Yeah? Hang on, guys. Devastated me to get. Adam said everyone shops at different stores, different brands. Last night made sense. Absolutely. Absolutely. And the thing is that if we have spent a lot of time in this chatter, if we've spent a lot of time believing that this voice is ours and that we actually attract our identity to it, when it starts to tell us stuff, we 100% believe it. So if it's saying to us, oh, this person doesn't like us anymore because they're cancelling out, or they think I'm crazy because they're cancelling out, or, you know, and we're taking everything personally, it can be really hurtful. But if you guys think, so who else has a little chatterbox that can be a bit nasty sometimes? A bit mean. Does anybody have one of those? Sometimes it can say some stuff that makes you feel not so great. Yeah? Yeah, perfect. So I'm getting some people say yes. A lot of the time we do, because they're limiting beliefs and that's how it's voiced, they can be quite nasty. You know, especially women, we can put each other down a lot. We're not good enough. We're not a good mum. We're not a good wife. We're not skinny enough. We're not fit enough. We're not sexy enough. We're not all these things. Yeah? Who do you think that's coming from? This one or this one? Yeah? Not the one we should be listening to. But the funny thing is, if you like right now, if you had this little crazy voice and you could expand him out or her out and put it in a real life human form and it talked exactly the way that it does to you and it was another person, okay? Would you decide to become their best friend and hang out with them every day? No, you'd probably run in the other fucking direction. You'd be like, don't speak to me, you're horrible. You're a really mean person. They were saying, oh, your thighs look so fat in that. Take it off. You can't wear that out today. You cannot wear that out today. People are not going to look at you kindly. Don't wear your hair like that. It literally looks like you've just got out of bed. Can you imagine having that person there all day? You would not make them your best friend, would you? Ever. And yet we take their advice. When the little voice says, don't message that person, they're going to think you're crazy. You can't say that to that person. They'll think you're running a scam. They're going to think you just want to recruit them. They're just going to think you just want to make a sale. The little voice, don't listen to it. It's not your friend. Cut it off. Cut it off at the neck. Okay? And just go and do it. Come from a place of, I want to serve you. I want to be kind. I want to share and I want to love on you. And I can guarantee that you'll get through this so much easier. Yeah. I love some of these guys. You guys are awesome. Let me go back through. Yeah, that's so hard, Nora. It is so hard. And sometimes it's really difficult because you talk to some of the most insanely spiritual people that you know. They've had hard fucking lives, real hard lives. And I don't go into too much about what happened to me because I'm really blessed that a lot of it happened. It was hard. A lot of the time I thought it was soul destroying. But now I look back and I think that it was the most important part of my life. Did I hate it while I was going through it? 100%. Some days I wanted to die. That's how bad I felt. But now I look back, what it did was it brought me so low. It created this whole new chapter for me to rise and decide who I was actually going to be, who I was going to turn into. Because there were some moments that I was so low that I had nowhere else to go but internal. And I knew that unless I separated myself from my situation of what I had to turn up and be in every day, and that toxicity and that scared place, I wouldn't have made it. I had to separate myself and I had to go internal. I had to find what it was in me that kept wanting to turn up every day. That little bit of hope, that little bit of spirit that kept pushing in. And I had to let that evolve. I had to get to know it better. So that was obviously my golden goddess. Just each day saying, you got this, you got it. Don't whinge about it, you got it. I wanted to cry. I wanted to run away. I wanted it all to stop. But there was something that just kept pushing me through. And I know regardless of what it is, event in your life, whether it's grief, whether it's abuse, whether it's leaving a relationship, whatever it is, there were moments that you guys wanted to give up too. But there was something inside of you that said, you've got this. Keep going. That is the golden goddess, and that is what's going to push you through this business. Not the little leprechaun wearing the paper bag. Yeah, so does that help you guys? Does that make a little bit of sense about where you need to go from here to grow your business? Yeah. Now, the hardest thing to do is to take that beautiful, loving, spiritual energy and put it into the books of your business, because instantly you go into mind. You instantly go into, okay, this needs to be done, that needs to be done, this needs to be done. And the difficult part of that is finding the balance in the muscle, being able to put the mind, spirit onto paper, okay, onto your diary, into the messages that come out. Because the mind is obviously going to put it together, but it needs to be able to have the heart come through it. Yeah, so when you know tomorrow that you're putting down a call, that you're doing this, you're doing that, don't let it all come from up here. And from an energetic sense, you guys will feel it. If you start meditating enough and relaxing into your being enough, you'll start to feel whether you're actually thinking with this energy or with this energy. And okay, let's do it. Okay, I know we're not all mums on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just generalize. If you are a mum, there's nothing more powerful than a mother-child connection. So I want you guys to think of that. If you're not a mum, I want you to think of somebody that you love the most, whether it's your partner, whether it's your own mother, your dog, I don't really care, as long as it's somebody that you absolutely adore. And I want you to close your eyes, and I just want you to think about hugging them. Think about smelling them. Think about feeling them next to your body. I want you to think about, if you're a mum, the first day they got laid on your chest. And really sit in it. Just think about how amazing that feeling is, that connection, that love, that sense of purpose. And if you guys open up your mind now, you can, open up your eyes, you can feel it in your chest. That is not a head emotion. Yeah, but if you start to think about now, this is a fun one, probably should have started with this one. Think about your bills. Think about the people right now that you think are judging you. Think about all those things you've got to do tomorrow that you don't want to do. And can you feel it instantly shift from here to here? Straight away. As soon as I said bills, it's like, oh, I'm up. I'm out. No more love for me. Yeah. So when you are doing your business, when you're sending a reply, when you're putting up a status, come from that heart space. This is why I'm doing it. This is what I'm doing. I'm sharing, I'm loving, I'm being kind. Because the person on the other end reads that. Yeah. It's an energetic exchange. It's not just words. It's not just a text. It's an energetic exchange. And that's why people say to me all the time, I don't know how you do what I do. I literally fucking love it with every ounce of my body. And people know that. That's why I win. That's why people are gravitated towards me. That's why people want to be in my team. But I had to turn into that person. Yeah, because I'm vibrating so high now and I'm so attractive with that love vibe, people want it. Right now, if you guys are only at the start of the journey, you don't have that. You're still building those blocks. You'll get it. You'll get it. Okay? And it will happen, but the hard part is growing that. Because you're still learning to love the industry. You're still learning to love the product. You're still learning to love the people. You're still learning to love to get out of your comfort zone every day, because that's one of the hardest things. The mind saying that is not safe. That is not something that's cool. That is something that's going to make you feel challenged. Don't do it. Okay? But the heart says, go for it. Why not? You're not going to die. But most of the time, this one wins because we think that's us. So we've got to do it. We just got to listen. Yeah? So that's where the muscle comes in. We can be aware, but until we start putting that awareness into practice, we don't grow. So build that muscle up, guys. Every little chance that you get, choose not to react. Choose to come from love. Put your love glasses on, as Stacey would say, and it will start to build your business up really strong. Okay, so I can't believe I've just talked non-stop about that for 50 minutes. I do apologize. Hopefully you guys got some really good value from it, because I know that as I started learning this stuff, it totally blew my mind and it made me see the world a different place. So if this is something that is going to help one of your teamies, please have a talk to them about it. Don't just keep sending them links because that shit gets annoying, but send them and say, I loved this. Like, I liked it because of blah, 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 blah. Okay, I liked it because I think you could get out whatever with it. Yeah, actually give them a reason to do it. So anyway, guys, I know, especially with the ladies that are on this call, I can see you guys. Every single one of you can smash this. 100%. Okay, whose little voice got out then? Whose little voice got out? I know some of you did because I've seen some of you glaze over as soon as I said it. Love, okay? Strength, passion, kindness, all of that good stuff. That's what you've got to have. Because when we do Crazy Lady Part 2 next week, we're going to talk about the law of attraction. And that's going to tell you if you're listening to this voice is coming true. If you're listening to this voice is coming true. Okay, so it's really deciding now that you've separated which one you're going to give the power to. Okay, so anyway, have we got any questions before I go? No? Awesome. Thanks, guys. Looks like you did get some good feedback from it. I hope I didn't blow too many minds apart. But so homework for you guys that haven't watched it is please go and watch The Secret before the next training next Tuesday, because we're going to talk back to back about it. It's something that I can explain, but it definitely is going to come way better from you guys watching it personally. So what I'll do is I'll put the link up in when I get off this call, and then I'm going to record and put this one into Team Love tonight as well. Okay, so I know...
What's it called again?
The Secret. So it's, I will put you can read the book. The book is The Secret by Rhonda Burns, but honestly, I love spiritual shit, and the book was too difficult for me. It was just too dense. I just needed something more. So the documentary on YouTube for me was life-changing. So if I can get you guys to watch, oh, Teresa, you'd love it. You need to watch it. Definitely. Okay. It is. It's the best documentary, and it's something that you can literally watch over and over and over again because it's that life-changing. So watch that before next week, and make sure that you put your little feedbacks in the team, because I want to see what you got out of that the most, because it's one of the most, I don't know, it's insane. You'll love it. You'll love it. But then we'll talk about giving power to which one, this one or this one, and how it's going to form your business from here, because that's 100% up to you guys. Hate to tell you, but it's not on anyone else but you. how this business turns out. We can give you all the cool tools and you guys can run for it as hard as you like. But depending on where your power sits and how hard and ready you're ready to revolutionize who you are, will depend on how big your business can get. Okay. So anyway, if you don't have any more questions, guys, I will shoot off and start downloading this recording. But definitely get out my inbox if you have any questions, anything around this, anything around your spiritual journey that you're having struggles with or that you're feeling challenged over, because that's my favorite thing ever. Okay. Thank you so much for jumping on tonight, guys. I really appreciate it. And I'll talk to you all very soon.